Hi everyone, it's Jaden with Refusing to Be Mediocre. Today's video is about changing your beliefs and your identity. I really believe that our identity is something that literally shapes our entire lives, all of our future, but it is something that we can also change in order to have the best future in life that we can possibly have. So I believe sometimes that some of our identities can be given to us. They could be projected onto us, especially from a young age. For example, I was always told that I was shy. People always labelled me as shy, so I naturally took on the mannerisms and behaviour of a shy person. But as soon as I had a drink, I became very confident, outgoing, friendly, and would even talk to complete strangers. Friends would often comment, "Oh, you're way more fun when you've had a drink." I then made a new friend that said, "You're not shy, you've just had people telling you for so long that you're shy, that you didn't want to go against that belief that they had of you." This was completely life-changing for me. I realised that I no longer had to live up to that false identity, and that the people around me would just naturally adapt when I stepped into the real person, or the true version of myself. The fact is that I love meeting new people, I love having conversations, I love hearing their stories, their goals and their dreams, and most importantly I like hearing their fears and then helping them overcome that, by working with them. People could often mistake reservedness for shyness. Talking to people isn't something that I fear. I just dislike small talk, and I have a very active mind, so I can often get lost just in the world of thoughts and just generally be up in my head more often than I am externally verbal. I also like to listen, and I know this is pretty rare, but it is also a gift. I believe it's a gift. I feel that many people do not feel heard in this world, so I like to be the person to really listen to somebody and hear what they have to say, and be that person that they can confide in, and not just waiting to have my turn to talk. But back to my point about that identities can often be kind of labelled on us, especially by our external world. At a young age, when you don't quite know who you are, you can often just take on these identities and these labels, especially if they're projected and given to you regularly. And even if these labels are correct for whom you have been up to today, you have full permission to change these. If you are shy, you can choose today to gain confidence and break that brain pattern through your behaviour. Speaking to new people and reminding yourself that they are just another human being, they are very interested in what you have to say, and that you're worthy of having a conversation with somebody else, and just showing up as your the best version of yourself, instead of being up in your head worrying about the conversation. Give that gift to somebody else by being present and putting the focus on them. Take it away from yourself, and you'll find that your confidence, or you'll gain your confidence through practicing this type of conversation. Breathe and smile, and remember just to enjoy it. And honestly, the whole fake it until you make it really does work. In a way, you're tricking your mind into situations, and you're forcing yourself into situations that your mind has to catch up and it has to play ball, and your mind will naturally adapt to becoming the person that fits in with the environment that you're putting yourself in. Thinking is powerful, but doing is 10 times more powerful. But a question that I've had recently is, what if the identity is just factual? What if it's something that you can't change, or it's something that you can change, but isn't something that you can do overnight? Sometimes it can take a little while for the physical reality to catch up with the your mental image. I'll cover the first point on things that you actually cannot change. I'll use myself as an example. So I'm short, that is a fact. I've been called short since leaving school, and people joke and tease me about it even to this day. But my simple solution is perception. I can perceive my lack of height as a negative thing, or I can focus on what I have control over. It gives me more confidence, and simply laugh shrug people's jokes and comments off. Sarcasm is a great defender, but it does always still shock me that a complete stranger can comment or judge someone's appearance out loud. Friends teasing comments I can laugh off, and it doesn't generally bother me, because I've worked quite hard on building my self-confidence like my inner self-confidence, but also practicing gratitude and accepting, who I am and, the body that I was given. And I now try not to make, self-deprecating jokes about my, shortness. I think that, because that can reaffirm to, even yourself, but to others, that, that thing is a negative, so being short is a negative. So that is a really good tip there, just, cut out the self-deprecating jokes about yourself. And this works for things that are currently a fact, but you are, working on changing. So, like losing or gaining weight, this isn't something that happens overnight, and it can take time. You can change your identity around them. So let's say that you're on a journey to, losing some weight, just taking better care of yourself, but you continue to make fat jokes about yourself or regularly comment on how overweight you are. Your mind is going to be in such a state of confliction and confusion that it's not going to know who it is or what it should be doing. And this is because your identity and your behaviours are in conflict. And trust me, your identity will always be the one that wins. Our minds are wired to do things that align with our identities. So let's say that somebody offers you a cigarette and you've never smoked a cigarette in your lifetime. Your likely response will be, no thank you, I'm not a smoker. And any time that we put I am in front of anything, that basically is confirming our identity on something. So we say I am not a smoker, or I am not a drinker, or I do not take drugs. These are all things that reaffirm our identities to ourselves. So going back to how to shift your identity when the physical doesn't quite match up with the mental just yet. This is where self-talk is key, and affirmations can be really powerful at speeding up this process. Telling yourself and others that I am currently enjoying working out and cooking healthy meals instead of I'm trying to lose some weight is going to have a far more positive result and reaction in your mind. And just a quick tip, anytime that we use the word trying, generally that means that we haven't fully committed to the outcome. So commit yourself to your outcome and then speak and act like the type of person that has the outcome that you desire. Raise your standards and do not settle for anything less than the outcome that you truly desire. And change your behaviours and your self-talk to reflect the new identity. And one final point that I'll leave you with is, if you really want to excel the process, do something that really scares you. What is your biggest fear at the moment? And ask yourself, what type of person is doing the thing that you're scared to do? Then if you do it, you literally are that person. You have literally stepped into that identity, and you are the type of person that does the things that you're scared of. For example, say your biggest fear, but you're, in a weird way, it's your biggest desire, is to do a talk in front of, 100 people. It's your biggest fear, so you ask yourself, what type of person does a public speech? They're going to probably be, confident. They're going to have some, braveness about them, heart. Just think of like the sort of character that does that sort of thing, and you are the type of person that can step up and face their fear. For me, I had admired and looked up to people that did YouTube. I'd wanted to do it myself for so long, and I think it was a great coaching session that got me thinking, what type of person starts their own YouTube channel when they're probably not ready? They've had no speaking classes, video editing classes, anything like that. I haven't had anything like that. And a lot of people start out basic and then they build up from that. But what type of person does that? Somebody that's brave, somebody that's transparent enough to go out in the world and go online and share their thoughts. And I sort of worked out the sort of person that I want to, become, and what kind of steps I need to take in order to become that person. And the only way to do that is not just by thinking, but by doing. So what thing can you do today? What step can you take today to get you closer to that desired outcome? If you have your first steps, or what is your desired outcome, drop it below. We're all here to support each other to achieve those things. And yeah, just go for it. You've got this, and you can change your life and who you are today. You can start today and you can start right now. But I'll leave the video there. My battery is flashing that it's low, so thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.